I already fucked up. Told you I was out of practice. It's alright. Nobody watches anyways, right? Hello, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome back to the Graybeard Podcast. I am Jim, and if you've noticed, I'm in a different spot. I'm in Pat's seat. Pat, unfortunately, he's a little sicky right now. Him and my grandson, they both got a little strep, so we told him to keep that over there and just get better, take your vitamin C, and whatever you got to do. So tonight, I'm going to be in the helm here, so I'm a little out of practice, as you heard, and we're just going to keep going, though. It doesn't really, you know me, I don't really care about, like, if I fuck up. I just don't care. So with me tonight is a great local Jacksonville photographer. We're going to meet and find out all about his story and his style and just anything we can talk about. We're just going to talk, and we're going to rap. We're going to talk photography tonight. So hopefully you're looking forward to hearing about that kind of stuff because we're kind of geeks about it. We've already been geeking out a little bit about photography. So without further ado, I will introduce you to Mr. Barry Michler, right?
Yep, that's it.
Let me give you the... See, like I said, Patty normally does all this stuff, and I just shit the bed. Is basically what happened.
All good?
Yeah. We'll just leave the camera on you. I won't even...
Right.
I used to do this, and it was very distracting. You know, like I didn't have help.
Yeah.
And you can go back to one of the episodes when I talked to Russell of So Scenic Photography, and you could see all the fucking monitors and shit. I had it all on that table in front of me, and it was just a pain in the ass. It was the worst gremlins you've ever heard. Like the cameras are going fucked up, the mics were getting fucked up, anything that could happen happened.
I can't even imagine.
Yeah.
Even just seeing everything that you have in front of you, doing all of that at the same time.
It is quite cumbersome.
Yeah.
For sure. So I'll start out just by asking, are you from Jacksonville? Which I feel like you're from the area.
I am, yeah. So born and raised in St. John's, actually.
Okay.
Right on the border of Jacksonville and St. John's.
It's Jacksonville.
It was St. John's before it was St. John's City. It was St. John's County.
Right.
And there was nothing out there. It was country as country can be. We had to drive all the way to Mandarin just to go to the grocery store and get all of our stuff for the week. And
did you go to the Mandarin Super?
The Super Walmart? Or
No. There used to be a little mom and pop shop, and it was called the Mandarin Super.
No, I don't think so.
Yeah, it was like
I don't know it.
Okay, yeah. I mean, I grew up in Mandarin, so like I know I remember when it was just trees.
Yeah.
Like everything down San Jose was just trees.
Yep.
So ladies and gentlemen, I have someone here in my own age bracket. We have references that you might not get.
Yeah, from what I can remember, I think we were just hitting Winn-Dixie's.
Okay.
And there may have been an Albertsons up there.
There was. And a Pick and Save.
Yeah, Pick and Save.
Yeah.
Which I think that building is still there.
It is.
Abandoned.
I think it's the last time I saw it, it was what do you call it? Not a Planet Fitness, but like a gym. They turned it into a gym. It could be a church now. I don't know. They're popping up all over the place. Those churches. They're like Spirit
Halloween. Yeah, absolutely. Every chance they get.
Yeah, Bible Belt, right?
Yep.
Jacksonville.
Yeah, yeah. So I was born and raised there. After I left home, I've kind of bounced around Jacksonville, lived all over the place.
Mm-hmm.
Mandarin a lot. Riverside, Lakeshore was where we bought our first house.
Where is that situated exactly?
Right between Avondale and Ortega.
Okay.
Yep. So right there on the river.
Right.
Yeah, it's really nice, but it also borders some kind of rougher areas. So it's we had a little bit of crime here and there. It was nice for a starter home. we lived there for 7 years, renovated the place ourselves.
Yeah.
And when our daughter was born, she turned 3, and we sold that, moved to Mandarin.
Oh, so you live in Mandarin now?
No, we
Oh,
sold.
okay.
Yeah,
Sorry.
so we lived
getting ahead
there,
of myself.
lived in our Mandarin house for 5 years, and then sold that just recently.
Yeah.
April this year, we moved back to St. John's. So I'm actually, which is really funny actually. So the property that I was raised on when I was a kid, my grandfather owned a horse farm, and he was really wealthy. He was like
That's
a military
awesome.
man. He owned a Texaco.
Whoa.
He was, I'm not sure, he was sheriff at one point. Like he was really, really well off, and so he had a horse farm. He sold my mom and dad a little piece of property on the edge of his property, and that's where I was raised. So, and then him and his wife divorced. My grandma remarried, and he sold my grandma, or I'm not sure what the transaction was, but my grandma lived on the other corner of the property. So it was like this
Yeah.
big elbow, and
Oh,
behind
she
us
probably
was all,
just was given that, I imagine.
yeah. So behind us was all protected woods.
Oh, good.
And so I have an older brother and a younger brother, and me and my brothers would play through the woods, and all over my grandfather's property there were ponds, and we'd fish and swim and have horse manure fights and all kinds of shit. So,
Gotta love growing up in the country, huh?
yeah. So years go by. My grandfather's house burns down. He's safe. He moves to Georgia, has property up there. The land sits vacant for a while, and KB Home buys the property, turns it into a community, and that's where we just bought our house. So
Get out.
yeah, so I joke around. I tell people we bought a little piece of my grandfather's property for dollars on the penny.
That's awesome. Yeah, dollars on the penny.
Yeah.
Yeah, not the other way around.
But it's cool because my mom still lives in the same place I was raised at, so she's right next door, and she's
Like in the same house?
same
or
house, yeah, same house, same property.
Not
So-
not in the KB home structures.
Yeah.
'Cause-
So it was weird. They came in, they bought out almost everybody except for my mom.
I wonder why. I wonder
Yeah,
how
it
how they got away with that. She just said no.
Yeah.
Good
It's
for
weird.
her. Good
Yeah.
for her.
So they just put up a fence around her and just,
Moved on.
yeah. So
Yeah, that's cool, man. I mean, I guess it's cool that you're like back in the same area that you grew up in. That's really cool. I ended up when my parents divorced, like when I was in my twos or whatever, maybe earlier than that, but I don't remember. I was too young.
yeah.
But we spent, my sisters and I spent a lot of time in Palatka on our grandparents' farm they had. So it's not like, the Palatka that you know today. It's like literally we were out on a dirt road, sandy dirt road. You couldn't ride a bike down it. You could barely walk down it. It was like beach sand.
Yeah.
And it was hotter than hell. But the bottoms of my feet, I can walk on asphalt all day and be fine. It
Yeah.
sounds like when I'm walking across the wood floor with bare feet, it's like I got like hard sole shoes on.
You're just calloused.
Yeah, country boy, redneck, whatever. I mean, and it don't go away
Yeah.
for some reason. But yeah, and when we grew up out there, it was like cows and pigs, and we had a one horse, but it wasn't nothing too crazy. But yeah, I missed that simple life.
Yeah.
Like it was quiet.
Yeah.
It was just like you could just stop and hear the wind blow, and there was like no traffic, no honking horns. There was no. I feel like there's this like natural hum from every electronic device that we have.
Yeah, definitely.
Like the 5G or whatever. The
Right.
shit just buzzes through
Yeah.
our brains. They're saying it kills the bees. Which ain't good. So, anyways, I'm getting off track. I do that.
Yeah. So
Just FYI.
So it's wild too because it's that way of living that we experienced when we grew up. It's kind of weird. So our neighborhood is off the beaten path a little bit, and so since we moved in, my daughter's 8, and she's met 5 other 8-year-olds. Like there's so many 8-year-old girls in this neighborhood, and we're like, okay, cool, new friends, everything's fine, and then and it's really weird because she like all the girls just kind of ride their scooters around the neighborhood with no parents, and it's so foreign to me. I'm like, and all of our other houses were like, no, you can go to your friend's house, but I need to meet their parents, and
Right.
then I need to chauffeur you there and back.
It's
and,
dangerous times.
yeah, so it's like this neighborhood has gone back in time completely. All these kids just run rampant through the neighborhood. So we bought our daughter walkie-talkies so we could communicate with her,
That's awesome.
and she has fun with it.
Yeah.
Every time she talks, she's like over. Yeah.
See, we we bought a house, built a house over here in Orange Park. Actually, the address was Middleburg, but
Okay.
it was off 220, and like on the other side of the railroad tracks.
Yep.
Not on the Fleming side. But at any rate, we built a house there, and the school, Doctor's Inlet Elementary, was like right across the street from our entryway. So our kids would literally, they could walk right down a sidewalk, and there was a crossing guard every day, and they would cross and go to school. But we bought them
That's nice.
cell phones. So our kids
Yeah.
had cell phones at an early age.
What age?
I want to say, I don't think it was 8. It might have
Yeah.
been like 10 or 11. It
Yeah.
might have been in that area.
Yeah.
But they were still in elementary school. So, you know, it was just simply for the fact that like I worked at that time, I was working like 4 p.m. to midnight.
Mhm.
So I would either walk with them
Yeah.
or they would call me and we would talk all the way till they got to school
Yeah.
and then they hang up and go in. Or once they got to Miss Shirley, the crossing guard.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's tough, man.
It
Like
is.
I wanna implant an AirTag into her skin. You know, and just know where she's at all the time.
Well, pretty soon, old Elon's working on that chip,
The
the Neuralink.
Yeah.
I don't know. I just watched a movie where they had that. They called it a Neuralink. It's that
Oh,
new
right.
movie with Atlas with Jennifer Lopez.
Okay.
Horrible movie. Just absolutely sorry, Jennifer. J Lo.
Yeah.
I call her Jennifer. We're on a first name basis.
Nice.
You know.
She been on the show.
No, she won't come on the show. But Ben Affleck won't allow it.
Okay.
Yeah, but no, they had that, but it was like you clip it over your ear like a Bluetooth speaker, but they have these little needles that would like shoot into your fucking brain.
Some Black Mirror.
It
shit.
was and I'm like, but they called it a Neuralink.
Okay.
And I was like, y'all stealing that from Elon should be getting some royalties
Yeah.
for that.
Yeah.
But it's coming. We're going to be getting AirTags, and I mean, I think they already have the RDIF chip readers now that you can put like in your wrist when you want
Yeah.
to pay for shit, or in your finger or something, and you
Yeah.
can just swipe your. I don't know about all that.
Yeah.
What do you think about that?
I'm good.
No,
Yeah.
you rethinking the whole chip in your daughter thing now.
I mean,
Locator tag, it's different.
it's different. Yeah.
Yeah,
She can take it out when she's 18.
right.
Yeah.
That's a Black Mirror episode too.
Yeah.
The thing where they could see through her eyes or whatever it was. Yeah, the mom could see through her eyes. You didn't see that one?
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
And then like all the blood and everything, anything bad that scared her would be pixelated and blurred out.
Yeah. Yeah.
That was a freaky one.
Yeah. That's
Sorry.
wild.
I'm so sorry, Barry. I have these tendencies. I say it's my ADHD. I'm one of those self-diagnosed people because when we were kids, there was no such thing as ADHD.
No.
You were either just I don't know.
He's special.
That.
Yeah.
Yeah,
He's
put him
special.
in ESE classes.
Yeah.
So I mean, I didn't have to do too many of those, just math, But so I do veer off from time to time from what you're saying. I apologize.
It's all good.
You'll say something and it just sparks something in my brain.
Yeah.
So you grew up, and you're at the home where you're at now, where you grew up.
Mm-hmm.
That's cool.
Yeah.
What about photography, man? Let's get into that a little bit. Like, when did you start shooting?
So, technically, I guess I started. I think it was my 20th birthday, and I left home a couple times, came back a couple times. We talked about that a little bit earlier.
Yeah.
So I came back home and I was living with my mom. My dad left when I was really little. Whole other conversation. So raised by me and my two brothers were raised by my mom.
We have similar situations going on there.
So I think I was 20. Was living at home with my mom temporarily, and my birthday came around. She didn't know what to get a 20-year-old, so she bought me a little Fujifilm digital camera back before Fujifilm was, cool like they are
Yeah.
today. But it was a cool camera, and it was my first digital camera. Other than that, all I had was like some disposable film cameras.
The 110s.
Yeah. So
Love those.
So I don't know. It was weird. I remember I still have the camera to this day. Sometimes it'll power on and work, and sometimes it won't.
Wow.
So that's pretty cool. But I remember I don't have any of the photos that I was taking back then, which I wish I did. But I was just in my own time was just kind of walking around, just taking photos of weird stuff. Like I was the sun would be really low and I'd be out in the field and I'm like, hey man, my shadow looks cool. I'm going to take
Yeah.
a photo of it. And I would come across an animal skeleton and I'm like, that looks really cool. I'm going to take a photo of it. And
Yeah. Whatever caught your eye.
so I think that was like that's the first time I remember feeling artistic from photography. Other than that, it was like we had a half pipe in our front yard, and
Dope.
we would always, so our house was the hangout house. So we always had
course.
friends coming over, skating, hanging out, smoking, and so I have a lot of skate photos before that, but they weren't artistic at all. So that digital camera I think kind of started it all, and then it was on and off again for a long time, and but it was about 12 years ago. I bought my first DSLR, Canon Rebel. Thought I was
Hot shit.
yeah, I made it,
Yeah.
and then really started taking artistic photos and portraits and kind of documenting mine and my wife's life, and it was still off and on though. I never took it serious at all. It's just for my personal pleasure, and but then when our daughter was born, everything changed.
Yeah.
So I started. I had already. I kind of went backwards. I was technically, even aside from the disposable film cameras, I never
Right.
really shot film. No manual or electronic film cameras.
Right.
So I was shooting digital, and then started seeing all this stuff all over Instagram of all these people like getting really good stuff from their film work, and I was like, I want to do that. So then I kind of got into film, and started shooting film about 10 years ago, and have shot digital and film together ever since. So, and then my wife got into film. She's a really, I think she's a better photographer than I am, but she's
well,
not.
I didn't meet her, so
So maybe you can have her on the show next time.
yeah, we could totally do that. It's great.
She's got an incredible eye, but I joke with her and I tell her that all of her photos are blurry. That way she doesn't get a big head,
That's wrong.
So, but
So
she is really, really good, and she knows it. She has obviously a totally different style, but
Sure.
so her and I used to just kind of go, especially pre-parenthood, we would go on adventures together and just take photos.
Yeah.
And just have fun with it. We'd shoot on our film cameras and take the photos down to Walgreens and have them developed. And,
Yeah.
And that was fun. And then, she kind of got out of it a little bit more. I picked up and kept at it. And then, so really it was when COVID hit.
Right.
Most people probably have a similar story, but COVID hit and it kind of changed everything for me. So I had a somewhat of a professional career. I've been working in the sign industry for about 15 years.
Okay.
Started out in production, worked my way up to a production manager, and
what industry again?
signs.
Signs.
Yeah,
Okay.
so-
I thought that's what you said.
So, and when I was working locally here, it was a mom and pop shop, and
Right.
I say signs, but it was like mostly interior signs and graphics.
Oh, cool.
So vinyl and some, PVC signs, some acrylic stuff.
I got you.
They called it environmental branding, and it was really fancy. We do vehicle wraps and
Okay.
things like that, and some trade show displays, and it was cool. It was kind of creative,
Yeah.
and
So you were designing all that stuff?
just producing it.
Oh, you're
So
just
I was-
okay,
yeah, I
printing
was-
it out.
So I was working in production, and so I was making the things.
That's cool.
And then installing them, and
That's pretty cool. You're putting vinyl wraps on cars?
I didn't really do wraps a whole lot. We had a couple guys that specialized in that.
That's a pain in the ass.
Yeah.
I would, especially with like lettering and like logos and like people's faces and shit. You've seen that.
Yeah.
That would freak me out.
Yeah. So, I was doing that. Worked my way up to production manager, and did that for a while, and I really enjoyed the job. But I was, it was typical working 100 hours a week, and my wife was just doing everything. She was a full-time employee as well, but she had a 9 to 5.
Yeah.
She was taking care of the daughter. She was doing the dinners. She was, I'd come home late and roll into bed, and it
It's no
sucked.
kind of life.
It sucked, but that was our life. And then, 2020 came, the business was already struggling a little bit, so they had to close their doors permanently. So found myself looking, bounced around a little bit, and I got into estimating. in the sign world, in the sign industry.
What is that exactly?
So you're basically just using your knowledge of the sign industry and your connections with the vendors and suppliers to come up with cost-based estimates for time, material, labor.
That makes sense. That's what I thought, but I just wanted to clarify.
Yep. So, so I got into estimating locally, worked for a company for 2 years, and then a recruiter found me on LinkedIn, man, and offered me a position I couldn't turn down. And so now I work remote for a company out of Pennsylvania doing the same thing. So
Estimating?
So I've been doing that for almost 2.5 years.
That's dope.
With this company now. So
But it's all remote, right?
it's all remote. Yeah. I've had to go up to Pennsylvania, kind of rub elbows a couple times, but nothing major.
That's dope, man.
So, but in 2020, things changed. It was really rough. It was, what am I doing with my life? This is insane. So I was like, and then it hit me. I was like, man, photography has been the one thing. It's been the one constant in my life for so long, like longer than anything else. It's like, I'm gonna push towards that. And I'm gonna see where it goes. So, so I started doing free shoots for friends and mostly like couples and families type stuff. Mm-hmm. And then it was, just posting. I don't really promote myself. I do no marketing, no advertising. I just kind of post my work. And some people started noticing, some friends that shoot weddings noticed. They had me second shoot some weddings with them. That was really fun. I'd like to kind of get into it more, but
weddings?
Yeah.
Are you shooting film with the weddings?
Both.
Okay.
So
that's a little scary.
Yeah. So so I'll basically have a film camera on one side and a digital on the other side.
Right.
And then I would only shoot film during the day.
Right.
But I only did that, oddly enough, it was the very first wedding that I shot.
Okay.
Which was kind of brave of me thinking back.
Yeah.
But I had Tri-X, black and white,
okay,
in one camera, and then my digital on the other side. So I was kind of, and then once it started getting dark, I just put the film camera away and grabbed my second digital body.
Okay.
So I had...
That's good, man.
It was cool, and the photos came out amazing.
Yeah, I don't remember who it was I was talking to, but they were talking about shooting film at weddings, but like you have it, it's there, and it's only for specific shots.
Yeah.
I've always been of the mind. Don't get mad at me, okay? I'm just one of those guys. I started out in film. I started out shooting film.
Okay.
And then I had a long period where I wasn't shooting anything. And see, for me, it wasn't COVID; it was a divorce. That's what kind of pushed me back into photography.
Yeah.
And I was like, everything's fucking digital now. And I just remembered the film, and I was like, that's so much, dude. The guy that shot our wedding when I got married, he shot it all on film, the whole wedding.
Wow.
At the time, I worked for a place that had a photo lab in it. So he just gave me a Winn-Dixie plastic bag full. There was probably 55 rolls of film.
No way.
And he shot all fucking day. I mean, that kid, he was drunk by the end of the night. Like he was part of the family, and they're all Serbian, her side, and they drank, boy. They get shellacked on this stuff called Slivovitz. And it's like you could put it in your car, your gas tank. So he was fucked up by the end of the night, but he was just shooting. But at any rate, I just remembered that, and I was like, I don't want to do film. I was like, so let's get into this digital. Same thing. This is the second camera I bought.
Okay.
But and I shot on that one for years. I've done weddings with that camera, and that's hard because it's super slow.
Yeah.
You might get like 3 frames per second.
Right. Yeah.
You really have to plan your shots.
Yeah.
Which I think makes you a better photographer.
Absolutely.
That is like fucking 30 frames per second or something like that. That's the R5.
Oh yeah.
And it's just, I've gotten spoiled to where I can put it on like high plus, high speed plus, and it just goes, and I'm like, fuck, whatever, do whatever you want.
Right.
I mean, if you're in a hurry, like those model situations or whatever, that does kind of like come in handy because like you don't know where you're going to be. You got to move.
Absolutely.
But yeah, so I went like the backwards way that you did.
Okay.
Yeah, and then I have always been of the mind, it's like, well, I can take a fucking digital film, shot, and I can edit it to look like film.
Yeah.
And then I was like, that's cool, but I was like purist, like but it's film, right? It's film. It's pure. It's the purest form of photography, but you still have to digitize it.
Yeah.
to get it out there. So it's kind of a pain in the dick. But I love, not to take away from your story, we're going to get back into that. But he brought me some prints. People, let me just tell you, this is probably one of the coolest. Not all the other stuff that people gave me was cool, but this is probably one of the coolest gifts ever. Okay, and I'm going to show these, and I want to make clear that these are, you're going to see shapes because it's hard to see. The focus is on my face. It's on the eye, the tech thing, but you're going to see shapes, but they're black and whites, and hopefully you can see that. And then this one was shot on your Rolleiflex, right? Is that
Yeah, Rolleicord.
a Rolleicord?
Yeah.
Why don't I call it a Rolleiflex? There is a Rolleiflex.
Same thing.
Yeah.
Same company.
But that's,
Cheaper version.
and that's, you said it was a 6x6?
6x6 negative, yeah.
Yeah.
I developed that one.
Which is not the normal negative.
Nope.
That's not what
Yeah.
everybody's used to.
Yeah. It took me a while to get used to square format.
Oh, do you have a picture of that on your Instagram?
I don't.
I thought I saw it. No, I might have been looking at that.
Yeah, so go back up a little bit. That one right here. This was the first post that I made with the Rolleicord.
Show that. Why is that not? Okay, there it goes. Boom.
Oh yeah, I do.
Oh.
Sorry, there it is.
Oh, this is a cool. So these are shot on the Rolleicord camera,
Yep.
and that one right here is one of the prints that he brought me. So that's dope. But I want to also. This is a what did you call it?
Zine.
A zine.
It's a zine. It's my very first zine. I've made.
Are you gonna be selling these, or how are you gonna be distributing this?
Not yet. So I've that was kind of a test. I had 10 of them printed.
Okay.
Which was probably a little brave to do for my very first time, and I've never worked with this company before. But they came out really great. I'm happy with them, but it's also kind of weird because it's not my typical style. It's all abstract images.
They're great.
Thank you.
I love them.
So
I love it.
So now that that's done, I'm probably going to give the first 10 away, and then just kind of get them out there, and I want to kind of get people's opinions of them, and because I already have some opinions on what I don't like about that.
Oh, your own opinions.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But yeah, I want to see what people think about them, and then kind of go from there. But I definitely want to get into more of that.
Printing your work.
Yeah. DIY bookmaking,
Okay.
zine making, and then maybe eventually, if I build up enough of a body of personal work, then maybe eventually bookmaking. That'd be cool.
You ever think about doing like an art gallery?
I've thought about it. I'd love to. It'd be really cool.
Yeah.
I'd like to do one like, I think it'd be really cool to do one like guerrilla style, or like where like you don't
bring out a bunch of like little stands and just do it.
Yeah,
like in Riverside somewhere.
Yeah, you don't have permission at all. Just find an alley or a wall somewhere and just like get a bunch of people involved, and everybody brings a little bit of art and just puts it up and throw in a little event.
I feel like, yeah, it would have to be guerrilla style, and you'd have to be able to yank that shit down quickly because
Yeah.
I feel like it's probably you might need a permit.
Yeah.
I mean, if you're not selling anything, that's one thing.
True. Yeah. If we just had some giveaways,
displaying
and just
it,
come and show your art,
or just displaying it and saying, check out my art, and then if you're interested, go to my website, you can purchase it.
Yeah. Yeah. That could
Doing
be
it
cool.
that way. I don't know. We'll figure something out.
Yeah.
Because I want to help you.
Yeah.
It sounds really cool, actually. The guerrilla style art. I like that.
Yeah.
I like that.
Yeah. It could be cool.
No, for sure, cool. Like I look at my stuff. Like I see your work, and I'm like, I looked at it, and I was like, especially with the people, and I'm like, it's art style, and I mean, I don't know how you describe your style of photography, or if you even have a description for it. I don't have one for mine other than just my shit. I've gone dark.
Yeah.
I like a lot of. I don't add grain, but I'll shoot where I know it's gonna add. The camera will add grain.
Right.
My ISO is so high,
Mm-hmm.
it's gonna be a little bit grainy, and but it's as long as it's exposed right, and I fucking love like a real gritty black and white. It's dope.
Yeah. That's my problem. I guess. So when I first started out, just like any photographer, you're like, well, how are you supposed to find your style? I don't know what my style is. I'm influenced by so many different things, and it eventually hit me. I was like, okay, I'm a light and airy photographer.
Okay.
That's what it is. And
I don't know,
I
man.
did that for so long, and then
I have to go way down, way down. I don't see light and airy though.
So there's one recent kind of
That's light and airy.
yeah. There's a recent senior photo shoot that I did.
Recent. It's more towards the top.
Yeah, more towards the top. It's going to be really recent. So right there, right on,
Here?
on the right. Yeah. So that's totally light and airy.
Yeah, that is for sure. Well, you don't have a choice. That's like you shot at noon.
Yeah. Yeah.
But, I mean, it's crisp. It's clean.
It was first thing in the morning, but the sun had already come up. It was at Treaty Oak, so the sun was you can see it there.
Yeah.
Shooting directly into the sun, I mean, so what I've learned at this point is that every shoot's going to be completely different based on the lighting, the location, the clothing, everything. So you take what you get. You can lean your exposure to the right a little bit. You can make things light and airy if you want, or you can, underexpose slightly and bring it back up and post if you wanted. But, it all depends on the scene. If you're on a beach, it's going to be bright. If you're in the woods on a trail somewhere, it's going to be a little bit lower. If you're inside, what available light do you have? Are you using flash? So now I just kind of let the scene be whatever it is, and that kind of dictates the style of that shoot. But I've become a little more comfortable with just not having a style, just letting the because I'll work with whoever.
Yeah.
I'll work with the client to say what time, what's the location. Here are some options. Do you guys need help with the wardrobe? I have some ideas that I can send you. And
Not me, man.
I
ain't doing
I'll
that
do all
shit.
this stuff, man. It's a lot of work, but it does help. It drives everybody to a final goal that we'll all be happy with. But and most people don't need help. Or I'll just tell them, wear neutral colors, wear pastels, wear, if you're going to the beach,
Right.
wear something, wear clothes.
Yeah. I mean, optional.
Right. So yeah, I guess I've just become comfortable with not having a set style. Plus with shooting film, I've gotten really, really into that and developing and scanning the film at home. So far just black and white, but I want to get into color at home as well.
So you're developing your own negatives?
Mm-hmm.
Really?
Yeah. And then I'll DSLR scan them with a backlight and then
Digitize them that way.
Yeah. But I just started getting into printing them out.
That's cool.
So
Now you need an enlarger so you can, and some, what is it, D70, I don't know, I can't remember all the fucking chemicals, but like D76 emulsifier, and
yep, that's what I have.
it was all that shit. I did all that. I used to pay, I don't know if I probably didn't hear it, but I used to pay a kid named John Giordano who went to Mandarin High School with me, and he would put the film, he would pull it out of the canister and roll it onto the little reel.
Okay.
The spool.
Yeah.
And inside we had these little bags, these
The
zip
dark
up
bags?
Yeah, the
Yep.
dark bags. And he would, because I would always do it, and the negatives would touch, and
Yep.
so that picture or those images would get fried.
Yep.
And so I would just like, here's $5, and he would do it. He was, and I wasn't the only one, so he was making pretty good money in high school.
Yeah.
While I got the mic real quick, Time Place, they are a sunglass company. I don't know if they were a part of the last, the JFE.
Yeah.
He's asking where Patty is. They're like bestest of buddies, I guess.
Oh, okay.
He comes in and he says hi to Pat every day,
Nice.
every Wednesday. He's out sick, man. So, and Cam popped in. Barry, love you guys.
Hey,
Two
Cam.
of my favorites. So that's what happens when we do live.
Nice.
People
Yeah.
pop into the YouTube,
That's
and
awesome.
we encourage that.
Yeah.
Because sometimes there are times when I have people on and I'm not the best interviewer. Sometimes I'll have my brain will just shut off, and I'll go, bah. And luckily Pat's pretty good about picking. He can see that, and he'll have a question on standby. If it's photography, he knows a little bit. I think he knows more than I think he does.
Yeah.
Because
Yeah.
I feel like he did a lot of photography stuff back in like high school and shit like that. But he don't really ever talk about it. So, but he'll always have a question on standby, and then whenever these guys pop in, it's nice if you have questions for Mr. Barry Michler.
Yep.
I'm gonna get it right because I have been saying Michler.
Yeah, no, you got it.
Okay, good.
And I answer to both, man. It's just I corrected people my whole life, and now I'm kind of
It's
like,
like, fuck it.
Yeah, I'll answer to it.
What's
man.
the point?
Yeah, no, and part of me too feels like maybe my ancestors at some point started mispronouncing our name because it's spelled Mickler. I don't understand it.
Could be, or I mean, like like my grandparents, my granddad's name was Shows. Okay. Like SHOWS.
Yeah.
And I feel I've heard this. I could be wrong. So if any of my relatives watch this, I feel like Shows came from like a German word, Schaus.
Yeah.
But I could be wrong. Probably am. But of course my grandmother was, full blood. Everybody that lives in Florida, my grandma was a full-blooded Cherokee Indian.
Oh yeah.
I don't think it was my grandmother, but I did see photos hanging in my grandparents' house of an old white guy and an Indian lady, and they were like, "That's my great grandmother." I'm
wow.
like, "Okay, that's cool." I never did the whole 23andMe thing because I'm just a mutt. It's whatever.
Yeah.
I'm fine with being a pound puppy.
Right. Yeah.
Anyways, so back to what you were saying. What were you saying? We were talking about styles, and I am in agreement with you. I don't like having a style, but it seems to be that's like one of the first questions people will ask you when they're thinking about hiring you.
Yeah.
What's your style? Well, that tells me two things. Well, one thing for sure, you didn't look at my Instagram, or my portfolio online or anything, so you don't really know what you want.
Yeah. Yeah, and I think there's definitely a reoccurring style. I mean, if you go through my Instagram, it's a bit of a mix. You see a lot of black and white film work, and you see, just whatever I felt like showing. I mean, it's some personal stuff, some commission stuff, and
right.
It's just a playground of work. But yeah, the website. I mean that you look through it, you see a reoccurring theme for style, and I don't think I've ever had anyone actually ask me what's your style. Yeah. Well, I think photographers kind of beat themselves up on their own in the beginning. I was like, I have to have a style. This is you have to have a style if you're a photographer. It's like you don't really need a style. Shoot.
I took a crash course when I was getting back into digital, because it was different. It wasn't the same, because your ISO is your film speed.
Mm-hmm.
So it's different. I had to like, what is this knob for? Like, what is all this shit on this camera? Because I was used to like one knob, maybe two, and there was a little needle inside that was my light meter. That was it.
Yeah.
I shot on a Pentax K1000, and that was what I learned on. And when you get into digital, you're like, what? You can delete this shit? What is this? Like what? It's crazy.
Yeah, there's color profiles and white balance settings, and I mean it's endless.
Yeah, and I always knew. One of the first things I heard was shoot raw. I was like, okay, so I'm shooting raw, but then I would put the color profiles on, like you said. I'd be like, oh, monochrome. Let's do black and white shots, and I'd take a really cool black and white shot and throw it in the computer, and it's fucking color. Yeah. I'm like, what the fuck? But I've come to find out that only works. The color profiles really only work for JPEGs.
Yep.
So because it like bakes that shit in, which is why I don't shoot JPEG.
Yeah.
If you've ever tried to edit a fucking JPEG, it's a pain in the ass. Anyways, Cam said, Barry, what is your goal for this year for your photography?
That's a good question.
Take your time. No rush.
I don't really have one, honestly. So this year started out. It's an important question, and I should have one. So thank you.
We all should.
Thank you for asking.
I don't have an answer either.
Yeah. No, I think this year I've just been wanting to shoot more and more and more, and but it's kind of tough. We weren't really planning on moving, selling our house, and buying a new one. It kind of happened on a whim. And it happened early this year. We had the idea and we jumped on it, and then everything just kind of happened. So we sold our house, we bought a new house, we moved, that took me out for, a couple of months, and
Yeah.
and then getting our daughter acclimated in the new neighborhood and the new school system, and luckily now it's summer, but we missed out on the opportunity to get our daughter into summer school, or not summer school, but summer camp.
Okay.
So she's home. I work from home, so she's home with me all day.
Right.
So that's my wife's a nurse.
Oh, cool.
So she is a very demanding job, and now we kind of flipped roles from what I talked about earlier, where I was always gone, my wife's doing it. So now I'm kind of home doing the, very present dad, very present husband, doing all that
stuff. Kid,
stuff.
though, man.
Yeah, it's awesome, and building that relationship with her is just priceless, So, so really, I've just been focusing on that for the past few months, and haven't really. I've still been shooting, but mostly personal work.
Yeah.
Which is kind of weird. So really, I've been kind of growing my personal work style, and at the same time, just taking on a few commissions here and there. One thing I have been wanting to do is work on more creative shoots. I'm shooting in a studio for the first time, other than the fashion show.
Right.
That was technically my first time shooting in a studio, but that doesn't really count because it was a runway.
Yeah.
But I am shooting a model in a studio for the first time this Friday.
Using artificial light, or
yeah,
you're gonna try and use the natural light of the studio.
I have it's going to be later in the evening, so I have a couple of flashes and I have some gels and stuff that I'm going to test out and see how it goes. So
yeah.
I'm excited.
Have you done much with the artificial light?
Mostly weddings and events.
Okay.
And then
I don't care for it.
Yeah, artificial light.
Yeah.
Yeah, I've done it when I have to. It's like you're at a wedding and you're shooting, and you're like, oh, it's getting dark, need the flash. Now I can see, and that's been my relationship with the flash.
Yeah.
I have broken it out, so Cam knows. I broke it out on our shoot, popped a red gel in it, and we got some really cool stuff from that. This I actually had that first photo. I actually had my shutter speed on the wrong setting. It wasn't synced up with the flash, which is why only part of the frame is red. But I really liked it.
No,
it was a happy
good.
accident.
Yeah, I love that. And you get that a lot with film too.
Yeah, and then I think the very last photo in this set. Yeah, so that one, it was almost dark, and I had the red gel on the flash, and that came out really good. So I've played with them a little bit, but I definitely want to get into more creative, intimate type shoots like that.
Yeah.
So, and it's weird. Fashion wasn't really something that I planned to happen. Cameron and I met because he was looking for a photographer for a high fashion style shoot on a Facebook group that I was in. And I had kind of been wanting to shoot some high fashion stuff, so I responded to him, and man, we hit it off. Like,
yeah, I'm not to cut you off, but there's some of these photos like this one. This looks like a magazine photo.
Yeah, so we submitted this set. This was our second shoot. We submitted these to. It's probably in the Mob Journal. We submitted the shots to Mob Journal. They accepted them.
Nice.
And they technically, I don't think they were actually published. Maybe I'm wrong. But they said they were going to publish them. But then they gave us approval to post them.
Oh, okay.
So we just posted and tagged them.
No, I like them. I like them a lot. And the thing I've noticed is like that's the theme that I'm getting. It's very clean, and it's I don't know. It just looks like something you would see in a magazine.
Thank you.
So that's totally a compliment. I for sure am enjoying your work.
Yeah, it's been fun. I know the word editorial is kind of thrown around casually now, but it was fun. I first started learning about that style of photography, and it was like, okay, that's what I want to get more into. And I think Cameron really opened that door for me.
Yeah.
And allowed me to start having these more creative shoots, and then once Cameron and I started posting these shoots that we were working on, more people were kind of following and chiming in, and it was pretty wild. And then obviously the fashion show, that was wild.
It was huge.
I think I posted one post on Instagram from the fashion show, and other than that, everybody else was just kind of posting and
I don't think
doing collaboration.
I don't think I posted anything
Posts.
because I think I gave it all that I edited everything and sent it all to them. I think.
Yeah.
I don't think I posted anything. I don't know. I might have posted some shit. Who knows?
Yeah.
But yeah.
Yeah, I made one post, and then I was working on an actual post, and I was trying to include every single model, and I was doing the work trying to
Like a reel.
No, it wasn't real. It was just a carousel.
Okay.
But I was doing. So I have a template in Photoshop that I use
I
for building my own carousels,
Uh-huh.
and so I was putting, I was pasting all the photos in there, scrapbook style, and it was a lot of work because a lot of these models I had just met,
Yeah.
they all just followed me for the first time. Some of them don't even
remembering their handles.
They don't even have the real name as their handle.
Right.
I'm like, I don't know who some of these people are, and you're supposed to tag everybody. And it became a job just trying to make a post. And so I hesitated, and then people started posting and making me a contributor, I think it's called.
Mhm.
And so there's a few of those are on my page. And
They collaborate with you.
yeah. So then I just left it, and I never ended up making my
Yeah.
original post that I was planning on.
It's hard these days. People don't realize you're not just a photographer. You have to be a content creator.
Yeah.
And it's a pain in the dick. I'm just
Mhm.
going to tell you, and what's crazy is like, I mean, where I'm at on my Instagram, I think I'm like 1,400. I've been 1,400 people for the past 5 years.
Yeah.
Like nothing, no, I'm there's not one piece of social media or, whatever fucking content that I create that like actually elevates my social status on Instagram, which, to be honest, I couldn't give a shit less about my social status on Instagram.
Yeah.
I really don't care. The only thing I look at is, are we getting views on YouTube? Are
Mhm.
people downloading the audio? That's it.
Yeah.
Because this has become number one for me. Like we were talking about. We had a conversation. We used up all the good shit. No, we actually repeated some of that, which is good. We got more in depth, but yeah, I get more enjoyment from doing podcasts and meeting people and like really getting to know you. Like you said when you walked in the door, I said, "Nice to meet you," and I completely blanked out that we had met at the JFE.
Yep.
Completely.
Yeah.
And I apologize.
No, totally fine.
However, when you do those things all the time, you meet people and you do these, you meet people and you're like, did I meet them? Do I know? So, you have to do that Hollywood thing where it's like, oh, how have you been? Or nice to see you,
Yep.
whatever.
Yeah.
Not again. You can't say again. I mean, never nice to meet you. But, yeah, so it's just hard to remember all the people. And it's one of the reasons also, I did the camp. I shot some of the stuff for the JFE camp. I gave them all those photos and everything, and they made a post with my photos and made me a collaborator. And I was like, perfect.
Yeah.
I don't want to do it. I don't want to do.
Yeah.
I don't want to do it. I don't want to make clips for this fucking podcast. I don't want to make reels of my photos. And to those people out there that want to do that, do it.
Yeah.
But I don't think that it makes one of the best photographers I've ever not met, but I've followed for a long time. His Instagram is Blue Strobe Photo.
Okay.
He's out of Colorado, and he does a lot of like kink and fetish stuff, but he does some of the most artful shit that you've ever seen. I mean, he gets out there. And he's the guy that I messaged with him a little bit, and he was just like, one of the pieces of advice that he gave me was something that I tell all like the young photographers, like learn the basics of your camera, of the craft, learn all the basics, and then throw all that shit out.
Yeah.
And just do what feels good.
Absolutely.
So I mean, but his Instagram, he might have like 200 followers. He
Oh,
does
wow.
not give a fuck.
Yeah.
Because he's making money doing
Yeah.
it. He's got models reaching out. You know what I mean? So that it doesn't matter, but to some people, and like if you're getting into high fashion or editorial photography,
Yeah.
I'm learning that too. I didn't know that there was different photographies like that. I just always called it, whatever. I'm just shooting. I'm doing work. It's either you're a model photographer or you're, infant photographer, you're a wedding photographer. Those are the types of photography. I never heard of editorial.
Yeah.
So, at any rate, sorry.
It basically just means, from what I understand, something that's going to be published
Right.
along with a story or some
Right.
type of words. So it's weird to call it its own genre of
Yeah.
photography, really, because not everything, if it's a standalone set of photos and it's not posted with a story or a set of words, then it's technically not editorial, but it still has the style that it would be. Yeah.
Yeah. That makes sense. So, you are doing, sorry, were you going to say something?
Nope.
I apologize.
All good.
You're doing, and I kind of, did I mention this in something? I don't remember if I did or not. I don't fucking remember. Maybe I was going to say it. I don't know. But we are connected, sort of. I did a little, we have a mutual friend, and you're doing a giveaway with her?
Yeah.
With Josie?
Yep. So we're doing so I'm a creative partner with creative director Joe, which is Josie Valentine.
Right.
And we worked together twice, technically, once for the fashion show and then once on a separate shoot with just her and I. And it went really great. So afterwards, she reached out to me and asked if I would consider being her creative partner for this business venture that she's got going on. So we'll basically do the same thing that we did for her shoot. She's working with local vendors for wardrobe. She's working one-on-one with the models for posing coaching and mood boards, and she'll take the content after the shoot's done. She'll create reels, and she's selling the service, and I'll just be the vendor, photographer, the creative partner. So it's really exciting.
You say just.
Yeah,
that's a big deal.
It is just
because how are they going to remember what all that work was without you?
Yeah, it is a lot of work, but I'm looking forward to it. So yeah, she has a giveaway to going on, and I forget the winner's
details.
name. I apologize.
Did they already select?
Yeah, so
Okay.
she pulled a winner. I think it was June 1st. Last weekend was a blur because it was my birthday. So.
Happy birthday belated.
Thank you. So yeah, she announced the winner, so we're really excited. So now we're just in the planning phases, and she'll be putting together a mood board, working one-on-one with the model. I think they have a couple of meetings that they'll do pre-shoot, and then we'll pick a location and do. I believe we have a 2-hour shoot.
I think it was. Yeah, that's what.
Don't shoot me if you're watching.
I think it was a 2-hour window, two different locations.
Yep.
And then it was like the deliverables. I always
40.
fuck that word up. It was like 45
Yep.
finished detailed digital prints.
Yep. So are you doing video?
No.
For that? Oh, okay.
No. I shot her first promo for that. I shot the audio and video for that, and then edited it all together.
Yeah.
So I'd rather do that.
Yep.
I always want to be behind the camera.
Yeah.
I've been in front of it a few times, and I went through a phase where everybody was like, people need to see the photographer. So you'll, like, when I was scrolling through my shit, you see my ugly mug a few times scattered throughout my, Instagram page. That's why, or if I didn't have a model, I would do it myself when I had an idea, it was just like, fuck it. I'll set the camera up and take a picture of myself doing it.
Yeah.
Which I don't really care for, but they seem to do all right.
Yeah.
I don't know why. People like old guys, I guess, with gray beards.
Right. And then I guess Alexis from
Yes,
Disco Dolly.
Disco Dolly.
You had her on. Right?
I did have her on. I've had you all on. I'm just a whore for people on my podcast.
So yeah, she's the other vendor doing that she's working with for the wardrobe. So
yeah, the wardrobe.
When Josie originally sent me the video that you had taken of her for announcing the giveaway,
right?
It was in a group chat, and I didn't recognize because I didn't have it programmed the third number, and I was like, oh, I thought this was this is Jim. I didn't say it. But I thought it was you because I knew you took the video, and then later realized that it was Alexis. So
well, now you have my number, so
yeah,
you can call me or text me anytime, man.
Thank you.
And I'd love to collaborate, with other photographers. I enjoy it. I don't get asked to do it very much, and something I've always wanted to do. Like I said, Russell, he's one of my oldest friends. Mm-hmm. I don't mean that you're older, that you're old. I just mean that you've been friends with me the longest as far as like photographer wise here in Jacksonville. Because I didn't get to meet a lot of photographers until I started doing interviews on this podcast. And he was my first interview. One of my first interviews. I always fuck that up too. Anyways, he was one of my first like interviews of a photographer in Jacksonville.
Okay.
I have to be very specific because I had other people on the podcast, but
Gotcha.
it's complicated. But at any rate, we've always wanted to do, and I know that they're out there that people do these things, but like, walk and shoots,
I love it.
like groups.
Yeah. Yeah. If it's with a group or if it's just with a model, or that's what Josie and I did. We met in St. Augustine, and we close to 3 hours, I think.
Yeah.
We just kind of walked around. I think it was 2.
It goes fast.
It was 2+.
Yeah.
But we got so much good stuff. And just doing exactly what you and I are doing now.
Right.
We're just talking about life, getting to know each other. What are your goals? What are your, and it's just, and it goes by so fast, and you make such good work, and you kind of get, because otherwise typically with my couples and my family sessions and things like that, if they're not like in home, what we'll do is I'll say, what do you prefer, beach, nature, or city?
Right.
And then based off their answer, then I'll throw some options out there, and whatever they choose, we'll pick that place, and then that's where we typically stay.
Yeah.
And shoot the entire session there. And sometimes, if we go to like Washington Oaks or something like that, you can get a good variety there. But if you go to the beach, all your photos are going to be beach or dunes. City, you can get a little bit of variety, but most people don't want to pick city.
Yeah, unless you go to like St. Augustine, and you get like, it's not really city, but you can get the beach, and then you can get kind of like that vintage old school like old world vibe. But
honestly, that's my favorite way to shoot. It's just to meet someone and just walk and shoot.
Well, I want to start doing these like the Collab has the networking events. I'm not looking to make any money off of it. I just want to meet people and take some great photos.
Yeah.
Where the photographer can be a model, or we can, if models want to come and hang out and get some shots, they can do that too. I want it to be a kind of a free for all. And I've tried to organize it before. I'm just, like I said, I don't have very much pull. And at the time when I was trying to organize it, I didn't know anybody out here. So it was just like, I was all on my own, and I was just hoping that the internet would listen. But I would make videos and post them about like, hey, and I would schedule it, and then I would go, and nobody would fucking show up, and I would just do a walk by myself.
Yeah.
And I was fine with that because I got some cool sunrise. I would do some sunrise beach stuff, and then I would like pick a different location. But yeah, to that point, I would love to be able to do that. And really, I've always wanted to be there and help like younger or just people, not just young people, because there's older people like us that are just getting into photography. But
totally.
I started this podcast, and I've said this a million times, but I'm going to say it one more time. But I started this podcast, and it was just me. There was no interviews. It was just me talking on a microphone. And it was just me trying to help beginners. So I would talk about, like, if I learned a new technique, I would talk about it. Sometimes I would do a YouTube video about it.
Right.
Whatever it was, whether it was an audio thing or a photography thing or a video thing, editing, software, whatever. And I just want to help the people, because I know when I was coming up in photography, when I started out in film, it was like I had my teacher, but nobody in the class helped. I felt like I was on an island.
Yeah.
So
yeah, it's being a photographer. I keep hearing it, and I feel it sometimes, but I guess it is a lonely job. Most of the time, you're by yourself. You're exploring by yourself. You're you're editing by yourself. You're all of the research. It's tons and tons of time and research, and it's it can be a lonely job, but yeah, it's fun. It's fun to kind of give back like that. Yeah. So that'd be cool. Get a group together, do a photo walk.
Absolutely. I would love that. And not to say, and I have to also reiterate this, I am not the best photographer in the world. I'm not even that great. I just have a really good camera. However, if that motherfucker sits on the table and no one touches it, it ain't taking one picture. So, but no,
Yeah.
I'm not the best, but I, like you said, I've been doing it for a long time, and I know like the basics. I can help people with the basics, composition, aperture, all that stuff. And that, yeah. So if ever you feel like you want to maybe try and put something together like that, I would be totally down, as long as it's a couple of things, as long as it's
Some
fun.
stipulations.
It's fun, no stress, and no drama.
Absolutely.
If there's
Yeah.
any of that, I will bow the fuck out.
Yeah.
Quick, fast, in a hurry. When there's drama, I could smell it a mile away, and I will run the opposite direction. So, but at any rate, so yeah, continue. What were we talking about? I totally derailed both of us.
Yeah, I don't remember now. We got pretty far off
Well,
track.
we were talking about styles, I think, and then we just went on a tangent.
Yeah.
But
So-
we were talking about the thing, the promotional
The promo-
thing with
yep.
Josie. But I think we got through that.
Yep.
So coming more to what he was saying. What is your goal for photography? Like, I mean, are you hoping to take, or are you? You're still working you still have a regular job.
Yeah.
Are you ever going to want to make photography like your full-time job?
I'm not pushing for it.
Okay.
I think so. It's tough, because I also need to be there for my daughter.
Yeah.
The situation we have going on right now, where I'm able to work from home, I'm able to be there to put my daughter on the bus, to get her off the bus, to help her with her homework, to get dinner ready, and when my wife has to do her nursing late and she comes home, and we can just spend a little bit of time together and go to bed.
Yeah.
That's ideal, I mean, obviously, like a photography career could be even more, it could work out just the same.
Yeah.
But it's tough. It's a lot of work, and part of me feels like I maybe waited too late in life to take it seriously.
Mhm.
I mean, I'm 45 now. I know that's not old,
It's not.
but
I say I'm old, and I'm only 2 years older than you.
yeah. But I don't know. I just like to have fun with it, and I'm not really trying
Yeah.
to go full time. I would like to be a little bit busier than I am now.
Yeah.
But also it was nice to not have a lot on my books when we sporadically decided to sell our house
Yeah.
and move. So it was kind of like, okay, I can do that. It's not a big deal.
Right. Yeah, because that would have been stressful.
Yeah. So I take on usually about 2 to 3 jobs a month
Okay.
is about average.
That's more than I would do.
Yeah. And it's all weekends too. You
Yeah.
know, so it takes away from our time together.
Yeah. As
but
a family.
But it's also, it's a therapy for me, because it really, it's getting out of the house. It's being in nature, getting vitamin D. It's just kind of
Using your brain in a creative way.
mhm.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It does alleviate a lot of stress. I used to, like I said, we talked about the photo walk. I used to take myself on photo walks. Just go and find a spot, park the car, and just walk.
Yeah.
And just I'll empty my brain of everything.
Yeah.
And just think about looking for angles and shadows, and there's a guy on a bench.
Yeah. So that's one thing that I have been focusing more on too. You're on Threads, Instagram Threads.
I'm on there, but I don't get on there.
Yeah. So I dove in pretty hard. I'm drinking the Kool-Aid. Sometimes I see value in it. Other times I'm like, this is a huge waste of time. But so what I decided to do is I'm posting all of my personal work, which is basically anything that's not commission. It's just me shooting for fun. So I'm posting all of my personal work on Threads and keeping most of my commission work, a little bit of personal life, and some of like maybe the best of the best personal work that I'm proud of, or some film stuff that that was a success. I'll post that on Instagram, but I've been kind of keeping it separate, which feels a little bit like a double life sometimes.
Yeah.
But it's been really cool, I think, because before I never really had a place to post my personal photography, because I felt like it didn't fit on my Instagram.
Like an outlet.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So now it's just been my outlet to kind of post that and get a little bit of feedback on it, and it's been growing.
So you like the Threads?
It's okay.
I went when it first came out. I remember I was off or something. I was sitting at home, and they were like, day 1 Threads. So I jumped on it.
Yeah.
With my photography page. And what I found out immediately after making a Threads account is that you can't delete it. If you delete that, then you delete your actual Instagram account.
Yeah, I heard they changed it, but I don't
Oh,
know.
okay.
I don't know. I haven't tried.
Well, I'm annoyed with it
Yeah.
because on my Instagram it comes up and there's a little. I don't like. I have a thing about notifications.
Yeah.
I hate them.
Yeah.
So I just click
Same.
on it and then go back.
Mm-hmm.
But I literally have been. I'll post and ghost on Instagram. Anywhere I post, I just like
Yeah.
pump and dump, man. I'm gone. You know.
Yeah.
I don't like hanging around. I try because I love all of my friends that I've made. All,
Yeah.
you know, Cam, Josie, Jen, all of them. I love them all.
Mm-hmm.
Russell, everybody, especially with the people I've met at CoLab and here. Most of the people I have been on this show I met at CoLab, you
Mhm.
know. So I owe those guys a great, a big chunk of my success in this podcast. But I love them all. So I try my hardest to go on there. Just if I see whoever like the first 5 posts are that pop up on my Instagram, like, and then I'm like, fuck it, I'm out of here.
Yeah.
I got too much shit going on, dude.
Yeah.
Mentally and physically.
Yeah.
I can't deal.
Yeah, no, it does. It's a lot sometimes. And I'll do the same thing on Instagram. I try really, really hard to get, each time I log on, I try really hard to get through my feed. So I don't miss anybody's stuff. I don't know. It's a OCD thing.
Yeah. I'm with you on the OCD.
But I do try to do that on Threads. It's a lot sometimes. So I'll do the same thing. I'm like, first 5 or 10 that pop up, I'll like, comment, react, or interact, and then I might post something or reply to a comment, and then I'm out. But it's cool though, because it's given me an outlet, like you said, to kind of post that work that I wouldn't normally post, and kind of grow that side of my photography, which I think ultimately kind of leads right back into, all of your style, the way you shoot, the way you see things. I mean, it's all, you're constantly training your eye, you're constantly improving. You're, something that I've shot on a personal photo walk by myself could, improve the way I approach a family session,
Right.
or even a wedding, or, the last wedding I shot, I was pulling compositions out, that felt more, some of them felt more like street photography.
Oh, cool.
Which was kind of cool.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was some really cool compositions that came out of it. So it's kind of interesting in that way.
Like what you learn and how you can apply it to your everyday life or your everyday photos.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, you're right, man. I've learned so much about like just people positioning, posing from being at the CoLab and hanging out with people like Josie and Cameron and Jen and just being around all those people, because that was my biggest thing I couldn't do. I was not a director of a photo session. People would be like, I'd do a photo session with somebody and they'd be like, okay, what do you want me to do? I'm like, fucking do. Just do. What, don't you know?
Yeah.
Don't you I would do some, I've done some kink photography, some BDSM type stuff, or boudoir, some of it. But, and you're like, just fucking be sexy,
Like,
you know?
What do you want to do with my hands?
Yes. Yeah. Don't put that on me, Ricky Bobby. Do you collect, now you made these, do you collect photography books?
I just started within the last, yes.
I imagine since you're a film photographer.
Yeah, so I kind of just started ramping it up within the past year, but the very first photographer or photo book that I bought, I can't remember the guy's name right now.
See, he was really important in your development.
Yeah. It's an amazing book too. I wish I could shout it out, but I'll remember it. We'll keep talking. I'll remember. But it's a photo book dedicated to his daughter. He takes photos, which I related to. He takes photos of his daughter throughout their life, and they're artistic photos, obviously, not creepy in any way. So it was really cool.
That's a fine line between artistic and creepy, isn't it?
When you're just focusing on your daughter on one person, I take a lot of photos of my daughter. I hardly post any of them. Every now and then I post some, but
Yeah.
I don't know how I'd feel making a book.
Yeah,
and selling
I
them.
wouldn't.
It's kind of
I
weird.
wouldn't. Now my kids are older, and I used them for models. A lot. I did a lot of, like, when my grandson was born. I have a whole just a whole section is just Liam. My grandson, just files and files and files.
Yeah.
And through the ages and through the years, and I can't stop. I love that little turd. So I'm always trying to use him as like a subject matter. I don't post a lot of those. I don't like to put him out there like that. But my older kids, they're fine with it. Like my youngest, they probably both should have been models. But my oldest and my two girls, they're beautiful, and they should have been models.
Yeah, I saw. Where was it? It was out there. I saw.
Oh
photos
yeah,
of them.
I shot. Yeah, I shot those.
Absolutely beautiful.
And but yeah, it's weird. What's really weird, I think the line when you talk about creepiness, it's not so much your kids. It's the people that are out there on the internet that are watching and looking at your kids. If they don't know it's your kids, whatever. But there's no way to keep people from like stealing your photos. Screenshots are a thing. People are going to do them. I stopped putting the watermarks on my photos. I don't do that shit anymore because what's the point? They can just Photoshop it right off. But I guess it gets weird when you start taking pictures of like when you're out. Because like when I would go on a photo walk, there's a place in, where the hell is it? Alpine Grove.
Yeah.
Okay, it's in like Switzerland.
Yep. Very popular for photographers.
Photographers Mecca.
Yeah, everywhere.
Yeah, certain seasons of the year, you'll see them everywhere, like geese, and they're just taking turns going around the big circle. But, I'd go out there and I would be walking around shooting, and you're not thinking about it. You're just having a good time, taking pictures of leaves and shit. And there's a fucking, like a park for kids. And I always, once I get to that bridge, I just turn around and go back. Because I'm like, I don't even want to go through there with my camera. And I have people thinking, what's this guy doing? And if I do, I hold the lens I hold my camera by the lens and I face it down because I don't want people thinking like I'm not taking pictures of your kids. I would probably freak out too.
Yeah, it gets weird.
It does.
So Colin Panthal. Panthal?
Oh, is that who you...
Panthal.
Okay.
I think it's Panthal. I'm not sure how you say it.
Okay.
He's from...
Mickler? Just kidding.
He's from another country.
Okay.
Not American. Can't remember exactly where.
But is he like a film photographer?
Yes. Can you pull him up?
I can.
They can't see this, can
Not just yet. I'll once I get him, I'll is he on Instagram?
Yes.
Oh, of course he is. Everyone's on Instagram. What was I thinking?
Yeah.
All right, so Colin?
Yeah, COLIN PANTH. PANTH.
Oh, PAN. I'm stupid.
Panthal, ALL.
See if he comes up.
I might be butchering that. ALL.
We are looking something up now, guys. I'm not sure. Oh. Is that him? Colin Panthal teaching?
Maybe. Yeah, that's him.
Okay.
This
is probably not his main page.
Yeah, that's not his main page.
Hold
but
on. Wait a minute.
See
Also, there it is.
The sofa portraits. Yeah, there you go.
Okay, so now they can see it. So this is Colin Panthal.
Panthal.
Panthal
I screwed it up.
I am a photographer, writer, educator. Next on okay, it doesn't say where he's from. Yeah, I can see a similarity.
Really great portraits though, and they live in the countryside.
Yeah, it's beautiful.
So like this portrait of his daughter in her swimsuit. It's. I shoot my daughter the same way. They're not as well as his, but they're, and I don't live in the countryside. But these are just really, really beautiful, timeless portraits.
They are, and no matter, again, art is subjective. People say that all the time, but it really is. If somebody likes it, then they like it. If people don't like it, then that's on them too. But yeah, I love like environmental shots like that, and like this.
Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah.
make that a fucking accent wall in your house.
Right. Yeah.
You know, print that out and make it a wallpaper. That's dope. Yeah,
Yeah.
I love it.
So that was my very first photo book
Okay.
from him.
I've yet to buy any photo books.
Yeah.
I just can't. No.
They're expensive.
Yeah.
After that one, I got a few of the, Saul Leiter, what is it, Robert Frank, the Americans, some of the like the greats. Got a couple of them, and I don't know. I don't connect with them the same way. I think a lot of these guys are, viewed through the lens of time, and
Right.
some of their work is just like,
It's a picture.
it's for the time.
Yeah.
It was amazing work. The fact that people were putting out that kind of work back then was absolutely incredible.
Oh yeah.
As a photographer, we look at so much photography that it's kind of hard to be inspired by it for me.
It is. I mean, you have
so-
to, but you got to kind of look at it from like one of those, like like I took music appreciation in high school.
Yeah.
And it was like we had to listen to music that was not of our genre and that we didn't normally listen to. Kids don't listen to Mozart.
Yeah.
And they made us learn, and you had to learn all about where they grew up and all this other stuff. And but art, is the same way.
Yeah.
I think you have to kind of know where you came from to know where you are now and where you're headed, where it
Absolutely.
could go.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't know how you feel, but I mean, where do you think photography will go? Like just in general, like I mean, we're at a precipice. I feel like with all the
We are.
digital shit that's going
We are.
on.
Yeah. No, it's scary. I've played around with AI.
Mm.
I had a premium account to Midjourney. I was like, let me see what all the buzz is about, and honestly, it's garbage.
Yeah.
I mean, like extra fingers and morphed body parts.
It's not
and,
right.
I was like, well, maybe I can use it for inspiration for shoots that I want to plan,
Right.
styled shoots and things like that. Maybe I can be productive with this. And man, most of the time, you come up with this really intricate prompt, and you're trying to, and it's like, it gives you four. Have you ever played with it? It gives you four
A little
options
bit.
for, and it's
Yeah.
and you have to pick the best one. I mean, you can regenerate, but most of the time, the image just wasn't getting what I was asking it, and maybe I'm asking too much of it. I don't know, but
I think we are. I think it's not there yet.
but I think it will get there. And now with the AI video stuff, it's it's kind of scary.
Yeah, I've taken some video clips that I've already made
Mm-hmm.
and put it through an AI thing, and it made it like cartoonish looking.
Yeah,
And it's neat, but it's not like, what's the practical application for that?
yeah. So I think the future of photography, I hope, will, because obviously AI isn't going to be able to, take family photos. They're not going to be able to shoot an engagement. They're not going to be able to, it's just not going to do that stuff. Maybe one day,
When the little-
you can upload your face. And,
What is that robot Elon Musk has? They have
Yeah.
you didn't know that? They have a little AI robot now.
Yeah.
And it looks like a BMW almost, like the colors, like it's all black and white.
Yeah.
Yeah. And now they have that.
You
and
could just
they're-
have that follow you around and
Just-
take your photos.
Yep.
Yeah.
Or little flying drones.
Yeah. No, that could be a thing. But I think the majority of people will kind of try to go the other way. And I know I will. People are going to look for, real photographers. They're going to actually try to search them out.
I think
at least
you're
I
right.
hope. AI is all the buzz right now, and I think eventually it'll kind of,
Peter.
yeah.
You think that. You would like to think that.
Well, with art, I hope
Right.
that. I know everybody, every brand right now is trying to AI everything.
Well, I think that there's going to be some people that are going to latch on to the old AI train, and it's going to be people like the girls that are like, I take better pictures on my cell phone, like people like
Yeah.
that. Hopefully I didn't offend anyone by doing that voice, but that's like my favorite voice. Oh my God. But yeah, those type of people I feel like will just be like, oh my God, look what I made on AI. It's so much better than what you could do.
Yeah.
Like, okay,
Yeah.
but you like I can pick this apart. Like I can tell what's not real. Why do you have, 12 fingers and 2 eyeballs, or 3 eyeballs or whatever the fuck it is.
Yeah.
I mean, like, there's so many things that could go wrong, and it's just not.
Yeah, it's so far off. I hope it never gets there. Honestly, I mean, I did it was going around TikTok for a long time. There was like the LinkedIn headshot.
Oh
yeah.
yeah. Did you ever try it?
Yeah, I tried it. It resembled me, but it made this like jacked, younger, just like totally.
Would you use it in your LinkedIn or in a
No,
resume?
No.
Yeah.
I mean, you could tell if you had, if you saw this on my LinkedIn and then you met me, you'd be like, that's not you.
Yeah.
So it's just.
It's kind of go
Sorry,
ahead. I thought you were going to hit your vape. While you're checking that thing, see, Elliot, our good friend Elliot says, Elliot here jumping in to say, I always love your work, Barry. Thank you for your content for the fashion experience. Wish you all the best. And he says, Jim, did you get a new camera? You're looking HD right now. It's actually the same camera that is always pointed at me, but it's just darker behind me. So, it just, I don't know. It's the lighting.
Yeah. Thank you, Elliot.
Yeah,
it's a pleasure working with you guys.
And Patrick jumped in, the guy that's normally here doing this job.
Okay.
I'm doing your fucking job, Patrick. He said, Jim, Barry, chat. I'm out with strep this week. He must be on some meds or something. So sorry. Hope you feel better, my friend. But yeah, thank you, Elliot and Cam, for jumping in, and also Time Place over there, and Patty. Anyways, I hate doing that, but I have to. I feel like it's a requirement for me because they like it. I like it when they chime in.
No, it's cool.
We already talked about that.
It's cool. That was a surprise to me. I wasn't expecting that.
Yeah.
So thank you guys.
Yeah.
That was cool.
It does make it more personable, and like I said, but really, I just want to have the hardest part about this podcast, or just I guess doing any podcast, is that once you turn a camera on somebody, they like immediately go. Or put them in front of a microphone. They're like,
yeah,
is this okay? Or like, yeah. But so it's just like, just relax.
Yeah.
Pull this wherever you want to pull it and just relax and let's have because dude, you and I were rapping so much when you first walked in the door.
Yeah.
That like we probably could have just done that.
Right.
And never even came out here.
Just as soon as I walk in, just put headphones and a mic on me.
I'll just do like one of these.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Right. Which I've thought about doing. That's another portion of like that whole like walk and shoot thing. I've got some little microphones they plug right into your phone.
Yeah.
And I just want to have like Patty or somebody come follow us around with the camera and then just mic 2 people up, and then I can move the mic around to whoever and just talk about like what are you doing right now, like or just have a conversation. I feel like when you're wearing like a lapel mic, you kind of forget. That it's there.
Yeah, definitely.
And when you see somebody doing this with a cell phone, it's not as big a deal as like sitting in front of cameras where they're like right in your face.
Yeah, I'm picturing Denzel Washington in Deja Vu.
Sorry, what is it?
Denzel Washington in Deja Vu with the.
What did I do?
I
lost something. I did something. Oh, there we are.
All right, we're back.
Yeah, the picture went black. Sorry. Carry on. Deja Vu?
Yeah, Denzel Washington, Deja Vu.
Oh, yeah.
With the big contraption where he's able to see, like,
I'm
picturing that with, like,
for sure.
Mobile podcast.
That's probably way too much.
Yeah.
And I thought we were going to get through a whole podcast without the dogs barking.
Oh, there they are. You're
yeah.
right.
Well, my girlfriend had to go to a notary, so she had to leave. Of course, they go stupid.
Yeah.
But at any rate, what else you got going on, man? Anything cool? Any projects coming up or anything like that?
Not really.
No.
Yeah, I wish I did. No, it's kind of bummed out to say no.
That's okay.
I have a couple.
Okay. I've enjoyed sitting down talking to you, man.
Yeah. No, I kind of had to. I made an announcement on my Instagram, which I don't know how many people really read long posts, but yeah, I just kind of let everybody know that I was moving and I was taking a couple months off.
Okay.
And then I would slowly kind of get back into it. So I know Alexis wanted to shoot once I get back into it, so I'm really looking forward to that. We've got the free shoot with Josie coming up, and that's going to be a lot of fun. And then first time shooting solo in a studio this Friday, and a couple of other little shoots after that, but nothing.
So are you
major.
taking commissions right now? I mean, like I say commissions. Like if somebody saw this or happened upon your Instagram or whatever, and they wanted to work with you, and they hit you up. I mean, are you in the market to take more jobs now? Or
Yeah, absolutely.
Because I don't want to promote that and be like, yo, hit him up.
No, I appreciate it.
And be like, whoa, dude, I'm still like putting furniture in.
No, IKEA furniture's built. We're settled in.
Good.
Getting into a routine now. It's just crazy managing my daughter running around the neighborhood with her walkie. It's wild.
I love that. I love that. I want to get. I joked with her. I said, I'm getting everyone in this house walkie talkies. Yeah. Just for the fuck of it.
Yeah. No, it's fun. It's totally fun.
Over.
Yeah. But yeah, no, I'm taking commissions again. I'm doing couples, families.
Yeah.
I'm second shooting weddings right now. I haven't done my own wedding yet.
Smart.
And some events, a little bit of fashion, but yeah, like I said, definitely looking forward to getting into some more creative style shoots. You know, so kind of thinking of a theme.
Or do you have
something specific?
Do you have anything in mind, like a theme wise, or you don't want to? Maybe don't say it because you don't want somebody to jack your idea.
Yeah, yeah. No, I have a couple of ideas too, but they're still pretty early.
Okay.
I have one idea that I want to run by Alexis and see what she thinks about it.
Cool.
So,
yeah, I've reached out on other platforms, not Instagram or Facebook or anything. I've reached out to some people that are not here in Jacksonville, and I'm setting up and scheduling times with them, and these will be for them, and no one will ever see these.
Oh wow.
Unless I may show them to somebody that I trust or something, but I may never post them on social media because, well, first of all, they might not be.
They're risky.
They might be a little risque.
Okay.
So yeah. Which I know that there's some stuff on there already, but you see crazy shit on Instagram all the time, and you're like, what? Like again, not to bring him up, but Russell was Scenic. He shoots a lot of models and stuff like that, and usually they're fully clothed, and he's had his stuff taken down, and then he'll send me a reel of a girl walking out of the pool with like nothing but like a pantyhose like sheer outfit on. You can see everything.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So it's just like, well, how does this stay, but this doesn't? I don't get it.
Yeah. No, it's wild.
It's one of those reasons. It's one of those things is why I just like don't want to bother with it. Like I have, there's other platforms that are out there, especially for this type of photography that I'll be doing. Yeah. There's other platforms out there that you can use, and that it may end up being there. It may, she may use it for her OnlyFans. I don't fucking know and don't care.
Right.
Maybe she just wants to feel pretty. I don't know.
That's important.
Yeah, I think I've met a lot of. I don't know if you've ever done any like intimate sessions like that boudoir stuff.
Never have.
There's a lot of divorcees and women that just have felt devalued their whole lives, or like during their marriage or whatever. There's a lot of divorcees.
Yeah.
And they want to feel empowered. They want to feel
I can see that.
sexy and
Yeah.
And that's the best. That's the only thing I can do. I can't, other than, I don't know, tell them, hey, you're gorgeous. What else are you supposed to do? But when you show them.
Yeah. Don't we all want that in some form or another?
Nah, I don't want that. I'm ugly as fuck. I don't care. I don't care.
Yeah.
But yeah. Well, good, man. I'm really glad that you're, hopefully the move, everything's all good, and like you said, your IKEA furniture's built, and you're all settled in.
Yep.
And that's great. And hopefully you'll be able to start taking more, jobs and commissions and things of that nature. And not like you need it, but still, it's good to do.
Yeah.
And you never know where it's going to turn.
Yeah. That's the really cool part about photography. So I watched this speech that Steve Jobs did, obviously a long time ago. I think he was giving it to like a college or something, and it was all based on connecting the dots. connecting the dots in their lives and their careers and their paths. And it was a really powerful speech. If you haven't seen it, you'll have to check it out.
Check it out.
But it really resonated with me.
Yeah.
So like that's my. It sounds cheesy if you probably don't know the backstory, but that's my Instagram bio is just connecting the dots. Shit, I forgot what it says now. Yeah, you have to read it. Connecting the dots of life through art.
I like it.
So for me, because it's weird, every single time I work with someone, you're doing the same thing we're doing. Just like when I met Josie, we're meeting, we're gonna hang out for 2 hours, we're gonna walk around, we're gonna talk about life, and every single person you meet shapes your life in some way. It affects you in some way, and then and tomorrow you're not gonna be the same person you were because you met that person, and even if it's something so tiny,
minute,
so it's weird. So photography puts me in these places to meet these people, to have these experiences, to go on and do the next one and to do the next one. So it's, I've always considered myself more of an introvert.
Same.
And it's weird. Most photographers are, and it's strange that way.
I think that lends to the theory of what you said. It's a very lonely art form. There's only one eyeball that can look through the viewfinder at one time.
Right. Yeah.
So it's not like you can jam two faces up there and go, oh, what do you think? You know, but so in that regard, it does kind of put you on an island, you know, and I like it there. I feel comfortable there. I feel safe there when I'm in those big events and those big where there's all like 50, 60, 100 people, whatever. I get like claustrophobic almost.
Yeah.
And I definitely run out. My energy just drains out of me.
Yeah.
And when I pull that camera to my face, and I'm just looking through the viewfinder, it's like I don't know. There's been movies and videos where people do one thing and like everything just and just shuts up. Like the noise stops, and I can think, and it's good, and I like that. But then that's the only way I can really survive those types of things.
Yeah.
Especially being indoors. Now, outdoors might be a little bit different. I don't know.
Yeah.
If we ever decide, I think we should do that. I think we should do that.
Yeah.
Just make a day of it, and we'll just set it up and promote it for like 3 weeks, and then just see who shows up. Bring your kid with a walkie-talkie. I'll bring my kids.
Absolutely.
We could. I mean, just bringing friends and family alone, I could bring a bunch of people that we can take pictures of. You know, for sure. Yeah. But I think it would be good. I think it'd be fun to do, and I'd love to be able to set that up with you, and for sure I know Russell would do it. But again, I don't want to. I mean, I'm not in it for money. I don't want to charge people.
Yeah, no, definitely.
Now, if it's one of those things where people start requesting our event and they want to see us, they want us to come back out, then maybe we will.
Yeah.
Tack on a little money, you know, because I mean, for me, none of this shit's free.
Yeah.
Which, speaking of, real quick, if I might add a little shameless promotion, if you're listening on the audio, if you're listening on Apple Podcasts, you go down in the description. There's 2 things that I want to talk to you about. You can actually text us through the app. You can text me directly through that app. I'll get that message, and I can't respond to it, but you can text us and leave us like they call it like fan mail. So you can say things, good things, bad things, whatever. And then below that, there's a link for, it says support the show. If you want to support the show, if you feel so inclined to help out in whatever way possible, I'll accept all of that, and I appreciate every bit of it. But if you click on that, it'll actually take you right to Cash App, and it's my Cash App, and you can just donate whatever. Dimes, dollars, whatever. It doesn't really matter. Anything helps. Because like I said, this is not free. None of this stuff is free. He's taking pictures of me over here. And,
always working.
I do all this stuff on my own dime. But it's a passion of mine. And when you're passionate about something, you find a way to make it work. So that is real quick. You can hold that up. That's your Fuji, right?
Yeah. Fuji X-Pro 2.
Okay.
Yeah.
And how long have you had that camera?
Since 2021.
Okay.
Yeah. Right now I just have a manual focus lens on it. a cheap manual focus lens, but I don't know. I
nice.
haven't bought into the Fuji system totally yet.
Yeah.
Because it is only APS-C, and it's crop sensor. It's a good camera. I've shot weddings with it. I've shot commissions with it. But I still always reach for my full frame gear.
Right.
Especially for professional work.
Yeah.
But it's mostly a play camera. The reason I was taking it to pro shoots with me was because when I bought it, I bought two lenses, a 50 millimeter and a 24 millimeter.
Okay.
So the 24 millimeter lens was the widest lens that I have in my entire camera system, any brand. So for the weddings and some of the events and some of the couple shoots that I did, I was like, hey, maybe I'm going to want a really wide lens. So I would just take it with me. And I actually used it, and it works well as long as you have, good lighting.
Right.
If you don't have great lighting, it's smaller file sizes. It's kind of tough to bring a lot of information back. But overall, it's a great camera.
No, I think that's really cool. And I honestly never seen one of those cameras. I've never seen a film camera that has a digital LCD screen. Never seen that.
Not film.
Okay.
Sorry, Fujifilm brand.
Okay. See, that's where you got.
It's confusing.
I was like,
sorry.
That's a film camera, but it's got an LCD screen. I was blown away. I was like, that's cool as shit. I could get into film like that.
Yeah. They do make this. There's this company, I forget the name. Something back. I'll remember.
Yeah.
Let's keep talking. So basically, you take any film camera, any 35 millimeter film camera, you open up the back, and you basically place this digital sensor in the place where the canister would go and the film would come across.
I've seen that.
Yeah.
Yeah, I can't remember the name of it either, but I know what you're saying. Yeah.
Yeah, it's something weird. It's a weird name, like Film Me Back or something. I don't know.
Yeah.
But I don't know. From what I've seen, the images didn't look. The digital images from it didn't look to be all too high of quality. But it's still really cool because you get to use your old cameras with the old vintage glass and get some really cool looks.
I'm actually looking it up now. See if there's got to be a name pops up. Anyways, we can keep talking. This is I don't mean to do this to distract us.
Yeah.
But it does distract me now because I'm now thinking about it.
Yeah, I really want to get into Fuji's medium format system.
One thing I love about Fuji, it's the shutter sound.
Yes.
I love it.
Yeah.
Sounds like
did you hear it?
I did.
Okay.
When you were taking, it's like a cadence.
Yeah.
To me, it's literally like music, and I mean, because I'm used to that noise from film,
right?
And they've crossed that over into their digital, and they've kept that somehow. And it sounds authentic, though. Like there's an actual spindle, and everything's moving. But it's like the beginning to end is like the perfect amount of time.
Yep.
And then it's just the crescendo. I know this is geeky and this is dorky, but I'm telling you.
Sorry.
No, don't be. I'm sorry. I'm like jizzing over a camera, but it's really cool. I like it.
Yeah. You want to take some photos with it?
I mean, maybe after I'll take some photos with it. Yeah. Because otherwise, I mean, I'll get to, unless you want me to, I can snap some of you.
The podcast will go silent real quick.
Yeah. Yeah.
So
I'll let you talk.
It's manual focus.
Okay.
But you see the focus peaking on the screen.
Yeah.
Whatever's in red is in focus.
Right.
It should be good because I was just shooting you at the same distance.
Your eyeballs red.
So.
And you can't move the little. See, that's where.
This is going downhill fast.
Yeah, it is. Well, what do you expect? It's me. What do you expect?
I don't know how to run a podcast show by myself.
You're doing fine, kid. You're doing great.
Thank you.
I don't know if they came out any good, but you can.
Yeah, it'll be fine. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, they're good.
It's the focus for me. I have gotten so. Like I said, this camera a lot of the newer cameras, like especially Canon, their CMOS, the eye tracking and all that shit it's insane.
Yeah.
It's absolutely ridiculous. You almost don't even have to think about focusing anymore.
Yeah.
Occasionally there'll be too many people, like with the runway. There was people sitting down, and then you had the models walking, and they were almost, like from where I was shooting, they were almost eye level. So it was like tracking everybody in the audience, and I'm like, no, and you have to put your finger on it and move it around, but
Yeah.
once it finds and you lock it in, it'll follow that subject, which is pretty cool.
Yeah, that's the only downside I've found with it is sometimes it gets confused about which face to lock onto in big groups. But I got the R6.
Okay.
And
That's a good camera.
It's like cheating.
Yeah.
Really.
Cheat code.
My camera takes really good photos.
Yeah, let's see how many photos that camera takes when it's just sitting on the table.
Yeah.
Oh wait! Oh, it doesn't take any pictures. We're making a point, kids. We're making a point.
Yeah.
Okay. When people say that's like one of my biggest pet peeves, and it's probably every photographer's biggest pet peeve is, "Oh my God, your camera takes such good pictures."
Yeah.
What are some of your pet peeves with photography? Like as far as people saying shit like that.
I don't know. HDR.
Really? You don't like the HDR?
I never got into it. I mean, it's not. I wouldn't say it's a pet peeve. It's just something I never got into.
What about the blurry?
Like the super duper overbaked stuff, it just.
What about the blurry photos?
I'm guilty of doing blurry
Jeez,
photos.
for shame. Who do you think you are? We got to end this podcast now.
Yeah, but it's
There's a way to do it.
Yes, if you do it tastefully, and it's tough to provide those photos to a client.
Mm-hmm.
I have.
Yeah.
But it's only like maybe one or two in a gallery. And I don't. I'm at a place in my business right now where I'm not charging for digital images. I'm charging a service fee, and then you get basically all of the good photos.
Right. So like an overall fee.
Which I know is kind of a bad business practice, but that's just I haven't changed it since I started. So
right.
So I might throw a couple of blurry images in there, and it's no big deal. But if someone was buying, if they were paying for every single digital image, I probably wouldn't provide it at all, or just give them the gallery link and everything's watermarked and they can go in and choose their favorites. And
yeah, you got to be careful with that too.
They're probably not going to pick the blurry photos.
Well, no, but the problem I have, I mean, do you use Lightroom to edit?
Yes.
Okay, so with Lightroom, you could send a link where they can go into that gallery and they can actually, like you said, they can 5-star, or they can select their favorite photos, and then they can write a little something.
Yeah.
One of the last weddings I did, the one that I was showing you on the Instagram.
Yeah.
They were such a cute couple. They were lovely people. And
I see where this is
but
going.
for the money that they paid,
yeah,
I was taxed to the nth degree with re-edits, and I went in and I gave her the link. God bless her heart. I gave her the link, and I went in and looked, and almost every single damn photo that was in there had a star rating and a comment next to it. And it was always like, "Hey, can you change this filter?" I'm like, well, first of all, it's not a filter, and I would tell her, like, it's not filters. It's not like I could just click a button. I'm actually spending about 30 minutes to 45 minutes, sometimes more, on each photo that you're telling me what you want.
Yeah.
And I mean, I would have done that anyways, but boy. And then I shot photo and video on that wedding, which I'll never do again.
Wow.
Yeah, I had two, and here. You want me to get into it? All right, well, let's get into it. We had to hike for like 2.5 miles.
No.
To get to this place. It was in I can't remember the name of there's a park around here somewhere, out here towards Middleburg. I can't remember what it's called.
Okay.
It might be Jennings Forest. It could be. I'm not sure.
That's one.
Yeah, but it's like there's inclines and declines, like you're in the mountains. Like I felt like I was in Colorado again.
Wow.
So it was cool, but I had a backpack on the front of me. I had a backpack on the back of me, and I'm with the wedding party, like all the family that's going.
Yeah.
So it's a giant line of people that I have to like run up and get in front of, and then fall back, and then get behind, and then jump in the middle, and I'm trying to film them and take pictures of them all as we're going to the spot.
I can't even imagine.
And then, luckily my girlfriend
to-
was there. She was taking pictures of the bride, which they came in from another entrance where it was only like a 10-minute walk to the site. And I was just like, well, lucky you, but, and then I just set up a tripod and a microphone and I was it when I videoed. And then I took all the video from our walk through the woods and everything and just added I got it all together and clipped it all together, put some beautiful music and everything, threw the photos in there, splattered around, It was like a 3.5-minute video, which normally I think those wedding videos are about that or so. And they usually charge about $10,000 or more for that. I know this because I bought a lens off of a videographer that does weddings.
Wow.
And she told me she makes jack doing that. But at any rate, it was like, can you add these photos here and then change the music here? And I can't hear what. Oh, listen, and I'm not going to tell you how much they paid.
Yeah.
She ended up she kept tipping me and adding, kept sending me more money, like here a little bit, here a little bit, here a little bit. But normally for those many revisions, I would have charged them through the fucking nose.
Yeah.
But yeah, don't ever do it. If you've got to shoot a wedding, don't do video and photo. It's not worth it.
That sounds miserable.
Oh, yeah, you drive yourself nuts, for sure.
Yeah.
I've staved off weddings altogether after that one. Not doing it. If I do one, I'm going to charge them through the nose.
Yeah.
When I say through the nose, I'm going to charge. I won't do a wedding for less than like $3,000-$4,000 now. And, and that's just the way it is.
That's
totally
still
fair.
Low. That's a really fair
That's actually
price.
Average. One of the weddings I did, I charged $2,000, and the girl was like, "Oh, cool! My best friend who lives in Orlando was going to charge me like almost $4,000."
Yeah.
I'm like, "Well, that's your best friend. I don't know you," So I fucked up.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
But I want to price myself out of business, like where I don't do weddings anymore. Just start charging $15,000 a wedding, And what's crazy though, I will say that the more money you charge, like you get better clients. I feel like.
I've heard that. I've heard it.
Yeah.
I'm scared to raise my prices.
Yeah.
I don't know.
I don't know, dude. The work that you do, it speaks for itself.
Yeah.
And if people see your work and they like it and they love it, that's the problem, is getting the problem that I see in wedding photography or whatever is you get family, friends, and word of mouth through family and friends. And they're like, oh, well, so-and-so's got a cousin that's a photographer. Maybe we'll see if they can do it. And they never look at your work.
Yeah.
Now, if you got somebody that messaged you through Instagram, it might be a little more, reputable, because they found your Instagram. So hopefully they looked at your work.
Yeah. Yeah.
That's the biggest problem I have with people hiring wedding photographers. Fucking look at their work. Look at their portfolio before you want to hire them, before you even reach out. Time is valuable, man.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't know. Right now I've really been enjoying being a second shooter at weddings. I feel like
you learn a lot.
You learn, man, I've learned so much. I've probably done, I think, 6. All of them were here in town, except for one was in North Carolina. And
are you second shooting for the same person, or?
No, so far, 4 different photographers. So it's, I feel like it's, you're allowed to have all of the fun and be a little bit more creative without all of the stress.
Yeah. It doesn't fall onto you.
Yeah.
But if you get some good shots, they'll be happy to have you come back.
Yeah. And so far, each main photographer that I've worked with has allowed me to keep the photos and use them.
Oh, dope.
For my portfolio.
That's not
common. Which is really cool. Yeah.
Yeah.
Because I was getting into it and I was like, like you got to hand over this memory card when you're done, and that's like you don't even get to gauge for yourself how good of a job you did for the day. And I was really concerned about that when I first started, but luckily haven't had that happen yet.
So turn on your Canon R6 and turn on that
high plus.
No, the image transfer on your phone.
Oh yeah.
The little Canon Connect.
Okay.
Have it auto transfer everything that you shoot.
Yeah.
That way everything's on your phone in the cloud, and you just go, here you go.
Yeah.
You can have the SD card. I don't want it. I got it all.
Yeah.
You know, you don't even tell them that, but
Yeah.
if they say, sure, go ahead and use some of those photos.
No, it's been working out because we'll just, it's got dual card slots. So,
Right.
So they just give me one card. I shoot on their card. At the end of the day, I give it back, and then
Yeah.
I still have my card.
Yeah. Are you shooting? You're shooting dual at the same. To both cards at the same time.
Yeah.
Good.
Yeah. And then my older camera is a 6D.
Mm-hmm. Good.
Which
good
only
camera.
has one card slot.
Right.
So sometimes I'll take that because I don't have like the 24 to 7D or the any of those zooms. I'm still using primes. So I'll have like an 85 on one and a 30 on the other, or an 85 and a 50 depending on where we're at.
Yeah.
And
what they need from you.
yeah, so whatever I shoot on the 6D usually will just be their card, or I'll shoot on my card and I'll just do a transfer after the fact.
Huh.
But yeah, luckily so far it hasn't been an issue.
Yeah, they got to understand that like you're coming up in the world and you're like learning, you're second shooting for them, and that you've got to start building your portfolio at some point.
Yeah.
Which is why I didn't do that. I fucked up. I didn't do it.
Second shoot?
Yeah, I never second shot. I just started shooting weddings.
Yeah.
Excuse me, coffee. And I wished I had. So like when I meet someone that's a new photographer or whatever, I tell them, if you're going to shoot weddings, you should probably find you a seasoned wedding photographer, someone that can, basically mentor you.
Yeah.
And you can start your portfolio, because when you start out and you're doing weddings, I got nothing.
It's huge. I didn't know if I was gonna really enjoy it, and I also knew that I didn't know if I was gonna be really good at it. You know,
Right.
and the main thing was like keeping track of the timeline. I mean, it's like most weddings, you have your wedding planner and you have all of your vendors there, but like every single one I've been to, the photographer is the one that's making sure the bride and the groom are doing and where they're supposed to be, when they're supposed to be there.
Yeah, you really have to be on your shit.
I mean, it is a ton of work. So, so that was a shock to me. But so keeping track of the timeline, doing all that kind of stuff. Like I'm glad I got into second shooting first.
Yeah.
And then just kind of doing it and working with different photographers and getting a lay of the land, see how each one does things differently.
Yeah, they all do it differently.
Yeah, and it's been a lot of fun, man. It's just a big party. You
Yeah.
know? I mean, as long as the people, the guests don't get too drunk, and as long as all the family's nice and all that stuff, which so far I haven't had any issues.
Yeah.
But
I've had some issues.
yeah.
No, every wedding I ever did, I like after the first wedding I did, I was like, oh, I wasn't ready for this. And so I was taking notes, like literally,
Wow.
mental notes, and on my phone, I have the notes app. I was like writing things that, okay, next time this, and the funniest thing, the biggest thing that the number one thing that I write down, and the last couple of weddings I did, I had a contract.
Yeah.
And it was in the contract. When the bride and groom get up at the reception to eat, I'm right on their heels. I know this sounds stupid, but I'm like the third person to eat. And the families get pissed off sometimes.
Yeah.
They're like, why the fuck is the photographer going up? I don't give a shit. Because guess what? If they're eating, no pictures need to be taken.
Mm-hmm.
And if I have to wait in that shithead line for 30 minutes, they're going to be done.
Yep.
As soon as they get done, what do? They get up, they walk around. It's time to shoot again.
Sometimes
you're
they
not
dance,
going to get to
sometimes
eat.
Yeah.
So I always put that in my contract. It's like one of the top 5 things that I need.
Mm-hmm.
I go when you go.
Yep.
And I make them come and get me. So when they get up to go eat, they come and grab me. And my second shooter, my girlfriend was always my second shooter. I taught her how to shoot.
Nice.
That's actually her camera.
Okay.
She's mad that I use it for streaming, but I don't care. I bought it for her. But yeah, they grab us and we go eat, and then we go sit down. And timing wise, it works out perfectly.
Yeah.
A lot of people don't think about the vendors. That's what we are.
Yeah.
But like you said, we really need to know the scheduling. And if you do it right, between yourself and the DJ, y'all are the wedding planner. I mean, you guys make it happen.
Yeah, absolutely.
So, no, that's good, man. I'm glad you're doing that. Hopefully they'll come in more, and you'll be able to get your own gigs and you'll price them right.
Yeah.
You know, there's a lot of thought process on the whole pricing thing. You know, there's some photographers they get mad when other photographers underprice because it fucks up the market.
Yeah.
I don't think of it that way. I think of it as you're getting your foot wet.
Yeah.
You know, you're dipping your toes in.
Everybody has to start somewhere. You know, I mean,
100%.
Not everybody can just jump
Elaborate.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, not everybody can just jump into the market and be a pro and charge pro prices. You know?
Well, they can.
Yeah.
They shouldn't.
Yeah, and some do.
Yeah. No, yeah, that's another pet peeve of mine is the people that think I can just get a camera and I don't even have to know how to use it. There's an auto feature and they leave their shit on auto and they just shoot. Now, and I don't know if you've seen this, but there's cell phone wedding photographers.
I have seen it.
What do you think about it? Have you seen their work though?
Some of it's good.
I've seen some good shit.
Yeah, some of it's good.
Some of it's garbage.
And it's yes. You know, but it proves the point, you know, gear is just gear.
Yeah.
And you know,
when I see the good pictures, I'm like, okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, you can take a good picture with anything as long as you know what you're doing.
Yeah.
But to your point, you know, dude, I was about to get up on soapbox, and I could still, but I talk about like people just getting cameras and doing stuff all the time. You know, like we call them GWCs, guys with cameras.
Oh, okay.
You know, and they get a camera. They're like, now, because they know that that girls are in modeling or you know, there's so many things that they're into now, OnlyFans or whatever, and they're like, I can start creating content for these guys. And, you know, I have a really nice camera. It's not my cell phone. So, like, I look legit. And then, not good. I've seen too many stories.
Yeah.
I have friends that have had bad things. I sound like Robert. And bad things. I hear bad things. You know, some bad shit happened. And it's not, you know, so I'm a big advocate against that.
Yeah.
You know, like, if you're a motherfucker out there, and if I find them, if I run into them, not going to be good.
Yeah, no, there's definitely some bad actors.
Yeah, they take advantage.
You know,
it's not good.
You read sometimes, you know, the groups online and stuff. And, you know, people warning models and things about, you know, going out. Something as simple as just going on a photo shoot with a male photographer. Don't go by yourself. And you're just like, as a good person, you're just like, wow, it's that whole bear versus man thing.
Yeah. Like, what do you? Oh God! Did you just bring that up?
I'm sorry.
No, that's okay because that's a hot button right now.
It is, yeah.
What do you think about that?
It's tough.
Have you asked your wife?
So she says bear. She says bear. So it's really so. All right. So, being the father of a daughter.
Yeah.
There was one video I saw when this whole thing was blown up. The wife asks her husband, who had a daughter. She said, "Would you rather leave your daughter in the woods with a bear or a strange man?" And he said, "Strange man." And I was like, and she's like, "What? Why? Why would you leave?" And attacks him, and he's like, "Well, that man may be me."
Right.
And she's like, "Well, you're assuming all men are a good person." It's like,
you're assuming all men are creeps.
Well, why wouldn't you? You know. And it's wild, man.
Well, yeah, and that's the point I try to make. And I didn't post it. I think I made a post, but I never posted it. It's in my notes. And I wrote this long ass thing I was going to post on Facebook because it pissed me off. I saw a bunch of this stuff going on, and I do this a lot because I don't want to put my I'm not going to add to the mix of shit. Okay, there's enough shit swirling around out there on the internet, but I'll type it up. And then hit select all and cut, and then I'll just go put it in my notes and just it's for me.
Okay.
But it's like with all that, they never said who the man is. They just said, "Would you rather be in the woods alone with a man or a bear?" And the man could be your father, could be your brother, could be your husband, could be your uncle, could be, you know, I mean, of course, your uncles can be creepy. It could be your cousin. There's a lot of, you know, but even still, you have more of a chance of getting out of those woods alive if you're with a man.
Yeah.
Versus, I mean, of course, we are all squish bags of we're just blood sacks. I mean,
Yeah.
we're so easy to die.
Meat
you know,
suits.
Yeah, meat suits. We are so easy to kill. I mean, like, but that's the point. I would rather you get out and be alive, you know, and then we can work on like any mental scarring that you may have had or whatever. But at least you're alive.
Yeah.
You know, but what a lot of people have anthropomorphized, is that the word anthropomorphize? I can't say the word right, but, you know, where you make a terrible creature like a bear, all soft and cuddly, like
Yeah.
at Disney. They do that a lot
Yeah.
with dogs and everything. You know, it's just like, no, bears, most of the time, sometimes they're omnivores, right? I think they eat plants and meat.
Yes.
But they will eat their own fucking cubs, you know, and I think that was one of the things I wrote is like, if it's a baby cub, you might be safe. But if you're playing with a baby cub out in the middle of the woods somewhere, you're probably going to die because the mommy's right around the corner. And if you're anywhere near her cub, she will fucking murder you.
Yeah.
And they eat you alive.
What's the Leonardo DiCaprio movie with the bear attack?
The Revenant.
The Revenant. Yeah. I mean, it's so if I feel like if you played that clip and then asked the question,
Right.
the answer would probably be a little bit different, or maybe not. But
Probably not, because there's so many cute and cuddly bear videos on YouTube or TikTok or whatever. You know, I saw one the other day of a lion. He was like laying down. It was an aerial view, and it was like
Yeah.
no matter how big the cat is, it's still a cat, and it was just doing this thing where it was like with little paws, and I was like, oh, that's cute.
yeah,
But its paws, though they look small, the guy is way up on a platform. Okay, their paws are like that. They're like the size of your car tire.
yeah,
And the blades that come out of them are sharp.
yeah. It's tough too because so my name's Barry.
Yeah.
And friends and family have always called me Bear for short.
Okay.
Not all the times, but sometimes. So my wife calls me Bear sometimes. Our daughter has always been Baby Bear.
Okay.
Just ever since she was born, she was Baby Bear. So then we started referring to ourselves as the Bear family. So it's tough too.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
It's tough too because it's like all right, well we're the Bear family, but still like how
What does that really mean?
yeah, so like you can't choose the bear just because we're a bear family and you think they're all cuddly.
Right.
Like they're vicious creatures
Oh, yeah.
that'll eat you alive.
Asshole first.
Yes.
Yeah. Literally. They like to go there first because there's the softest meat is in your butt. Ugh. I don't know. Ladies, think whatever you want to think, but I'm just here to educate. I'm not going to say what's right or wrong, but I'm just going to tell you need to go watch some like real what is that? Nature is Metal. It's a website, I think, or it's an Instagram account, but Nature is Metal. Go watch that. It's basically just animals fucking up other animals.
Wow.
Yeah.
I haven't seen that.
Yeah. It's intense. It's like the shit you see on Twitter.
Okay.
Like that stuff. You can see some crazy stuff on Twitter.
Yes.
Candace. Oh, is your wife's name Candace?
Yes.
She's in the chat. Beauty and the Beast. I can tame a bear.
Wow.
Let me show him now. Okay.
Is that really what she wrote?
Yeah.
I can tame a bear.
Yeah.
All right.
I don't know. I Candace, I appreciate your thoughts on that. I mean, you know, when you do tame a bear, and I hope you can, call me and I'll come out and photograph it or film it from way far away.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's a tough thing. Like I went around and around with my daughter. You know, she's young. You know, she's 21, and she's just like, I would definitely want to be in the woods with a bear. I'm like, well, so you just want to die? Is that what? I mean, you know, whatever. I mean, you might get lucky.
Yeah.
And find a docile one.
Yeah, it's possible. One that just wants to break into cars and steal,
Yeah.
you know, trash and tear up the seats, eating leather.
Laughing emoji. Well, anyways, I don't know. That's a whole other podcast, I think.
Yeah.
But we're at 2 hours now, man.
Are we?
Yeah.
Okay.
Can you believe
Yeah.
that?
No.
Flew by, right?
Yeah.
You did good, man.
Thank you.
Hey, thank you. I appreciate you coming on and hanging out with me for the last 2 hours of your time. I know
Yeah.
you probably could have been spending it with Candace or your child, and doing 8 million other things. But I really do appreciate your time, and I'm looking forward to any kind of partnership or collaboration that you want to do in the future. I would really love to do that. So please think of me.
Yeah, I will.
Cool.
Yeah, I'd love to put something together like that.
Yeah. Well,
Just get out and shoot.
while we're wrapping up, go ahead and give everybody your. I mean, they've already seen it, but it's okay.
Yeah.
I like to kind of do it in the beginning, the end, and in the middle. But give everybody all your social medias, or if you have a website and all that good stuff. And I'm gonna crank this music up.
Yeah. So thank you guys for commenting, watching, listening. You can find me anywhere with my full name, Barry Michler.
Michler.
Yep.
Michler. I think I said Michler again.
All my handles, Instagram, Facebook, Threads, are all the same, and my website is barrymichler.com. Easy, right?
That's dope.
Yep.
My name sucks, so I have to put a thing on it, a logo. So
No, I like the gray beard though.
yeah, Jim Mullis. It
Yeah.
was just James Mullis, and it's just it's too many syllables. I think.
Yeah.
I don't know.
The gray beard's good though.
Yeah, I like it. I have a gray beard, so
Yeah.
it's whatever. Now I can't shave the damn thing. So,
Nope. You're stuck with
anyways, everybody, thanks for chiming in,
Right.
and thanks for watching. We will see you next week. Who's on next week? I don't know. I'll let you know. So be watching. It's want to be the 1 or 2 times that I pop into Instagram. So I think it's Taylor. Yeah, I think Taymac Art. Taylor Gore. I think that's her next week. So go check her out, and check out Mr. Barry Michler, and be looking forward to anything. Maybe you want to come on a walk and shoot with us. Hit me up. Hit him up. Let's get it going. All right, folks. That's it.
All right.
See ya.
Thank you guys.